We have discussed man's filthy habits. As far as, we talked about things like the plastic that end up in the sea. We talk about waste disposal, people leaving their garbage on the beach. We talk about all of that. So man themselves can have a devastating effect on our coastline and our beaches. Now, I talk about the fact that we are dependent heavily on tourism and gave that as one reason why we should maintain our beaches, right? But we should also maintain our beaches just for the sake of being cleanliness, right? But also, our beaches are not just for the tourists. They are also for the enjoyment of our people, right? Even though a lot of us may not go to the beach as often as maybe a tourist would want to do, because sometimes when you have something and you have it at your disposal, you don't use it as much, but it is for our enjoyment. And so even for that, we need to keep it clean and protected. So man could have an effect on that as well. That's one way. Which brings me to a different angle when it comes to the loss of our beaches. Not only have I seen that beaches are being eroded by nature, beaches are being destroyed and lost by garbage and so on, filth. There's also something that's under the surface that we may not be paying much attention to, but it's happening. It happens bit by bit, a little bit at a time. And I'm talking about going up against development. Most of the development, or a lot of our development, and people who come into this country and want to develop, hotels and tourist attractions and so on. A lot of these people like to carry out these development on the coastline. They want beaches as well. And sometimes when they do that, they run afoul of the law. And sometimes, even though they run afoul of the law, they get away with it. Because maybe no one pays much attention to that. And because a lot of us don't use the beaches on a regular basis, since we have it, and since we live here and we own it, we take it for granted. But every now and again, when you travel to certain areas in this country, and you look at what was, and you look at the access you used to have to some beaches that you no longer have, you're wondering, well, how did this creep upon us? Because that access no longer exists. People block what was traditionally the access point and may not provide another access point as the law would require. They just continue with their development without regards for what the law may say with regards to giving public access to beaches. And this has been an ongoing thing in this country for quite a while. And it is because, like I said, it's one of those stealth things that happen where nobody pays a whole lot of attention to it. And it's only when you come upon it and you come across it, maybe through someday just decide to go to a particular area that you used to go to many years ago, or you haven't been to in quite a while, and you decide to take advantage of the space, and then realize you can no longer access that beach. It's gone, and you you wonder, well, what happened? You wonder what happened to the law, what happened to the enforcement. So that too is another way that we, as residents of this country, lose our beaches. And like I said, we can lose it through Mother Nature, and whenever Mother Nature acts, we try to do things in some cases to mitigate against that. But we are thinking most of the times when we try to work with Mother Nature or mitigate against the effects, we are basically thinking about the tourism product in this case. And somehow when you do that, then we get to use it too. It's like we are, the second part of the whole thought process. But when it's not Mother Nature, when it comes up against the need for development, quote unquote, then we don't seem to pay much attention to what that development takes from us. Not that we shouldn't, but there has to be a happy medium. Because wherever a beach exists, as far as I know, by law, wherever a beach exists, I as a citizen should still be able to access that beach. And if you are going to develop an area and a beachfront property, the law requires you to provide me access to that same beach. I should not lose that beach because you have developed something on the beachfront and you're not allowed to fence that in to restrict, to take away access from residents of this country. But the development is made in such a way, in many cases, where you no longer can access that beach, or it is so difficult now to access that beach that it's not worth it. You just give up and you say, well, okay, I no longer use that beach that I used to enjoy so much. I can no longer use it. And so those are the things I'm talking about. So there are different ways to lose our beaches, and I just wanted to talk about that because I've seen it, and especially recently, just by happening to go into certain areas that I haven't been to in a while, and realize that, wow, we've just lost access. How long did we lose this access? And why can't I go down here anymore without doing a whole lot of climbing and everything else to get to what was cool access to one of our great beaches? So those are my thoughts. 465-2555 and 718-577-2916 are the numbers here if you want to weigh in on any of that. What I think we'll do here is we can take a quick break, and when we come back on the other side, those are the numbers to use to join the conversation. We will be right back.
Watch the creeper. Look out! Look out! This is it! Something new, something fresh, something exciting! Jump Off Show on Said I Said Radio with the man Chico. Yo! Every Monday to Thursday, Chico will be in the house with the 3 to 6 minutes. So tell your neighbors, tell your friends about this exciting show on Said I Said Radio, the Jump Off Show, every Monday to Thursday, 3 to 6. Don't miss it. While the others give you some, we give you more. Right here on Said I Said Radio. Watch the creeper.
Every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Said I Said Radio goes into overdrive with the Magic Fingers Ronnie Rascal Mega Mix Show. You heard? Lock your dial to 96.1 FM. It's the show that brings the vibes to your Saturday afternoon lime, bar hopping, party hangouts, or just driving around. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix show. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix show. It's old school and new school remixes by yours truly, Magic Fingers, Ronnie Rascal, every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. ZIZ Radio.
All right, welcome back to Frank and Candid. This is Tuesday. We are going to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning, Mr. Knight.
Good morning, caller.
Timely topic, and we're in the month of the season of the hurricane season, rather, and weather predictions. And today we are experiencing a little overcast skies in my neck of the woods, and something was predicted to pass our way on Sunday, and it's all about what you're talking about: beach erosion, annual phenomena of hurricanes, and the way we develop our coastline. Being an island that we are, and we promote tourism, one of the areas that we ought to have concentrated on, and not to allow it to evade our hands, our authority, was in terms of our urban and coastal development. And as a result of your conversation today, we can go towards that there, because you're talking about access to beach and not no access to beach, and where we have fought for access to the coast, to the beach, to the water that sometimes it might be rationed, potable water, but I don't think it's rationed in terms of our coastline and the ocean. So it is critical, it's pivotal, yes. Today our reality is that we can't have access to certain beach the way we once had access to, or no access at all, which is really sad. And so, yes, human errors, human, negligence would be blamed for that. So, yes, our human beings have an effect on beach and the way how beach are kept and everything, and in terms of the development. And so I really respect your topic and the phenomena of hurricane. I want to say this from a conversation that I heard. We are praying people and we hope for the best when phenomenal storms, some of them are predicted, some of them are not. But if I on St. Kitts would have heard about, the meteorologists forecast the weather and the storm might be coming my way. If I pray that the storm don't come my way, given the proximity of these little islands, St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, Montserrat, Antigua, Tortola, St. Bartholomew, you name it, they're right there. Some of them less than 30 miles off. If I pray away that hurricane from my St. Kitts and Nevis, it would hit Antigua, it would hit Montserrat maybe, Tortola, the U.S. British Virgin Islands. Those islands are inhabited also. So how could me, in my humble self, as a God-fearing person, knowing that there are other God-fearing persons on these islands also, that would have hit those islands? Well, if it had hit St. Kitts, maybe we would have gotten the rains, the family would have rejoiced. But let's say it would have hit another island, like an island which have much more rivers, and the rivers break their banks, and persons who living close by succumb to those, things and the like. I cannot say, well, but I pray away and the hurricane didn't come and destroy me on St. Kitts, whereas it has destroyed somebody else. So we talk a lot about these things, but we don't understand. Nature is a nature, and nature can be influenced or manipulated at times. We must consider that. And also, in terms of the meteorologists, within their system of forecasting weathers, they don't always get it right. They're not always accurate within their forecast. So sometimes weather come and it divert and it didn't come our way. And we, individuals, take kudos for that and say, oh, my prayer has been heard because it didn't come my way. That's not how the way it works. Because we are accusing our brothers and sisters in Haiti and other islands to be saying we put voodoo on people or we put obio on people. Are we using the great Most High, the powers of the Most High, to say, well, wish the storm away from us, but at the same time we're wishing the storm away from us, and the proximity of these islands? It hit another island, and our brothers and sisters succumb to injuries and death and the likes. That's not the way we should see things in this scheme of things. I just wanted to throw that piece out there.
Okay.
There is an African proverb that says, even though the stars seem far apart, there are enough fireflies at our feet to illuminate our path, humanity's path rather. There are enough fireflies at our feet to illuminate humanity's path. There was never a time, ever since it has happened, that light was not shown on humanity. They ain't going to come to that. I shall continue this conversation next time. Thanks for listening.
Sure. Let's go back to the phones. I need to have a conversation one day about how we can pray away nature, but that's another day. Going back to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Okay, let's try. Got a caller there? Okay. Yeah. Caller, your life.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen and Zinga. Blessed them, my beloved African brother. How are you? How the family?
We're all doing well. What about you?
Good, brother, and the clan is good. Now, brother, come in the spirit of the great Pan-Africanist and the king of Pan-Africanism, the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, one of the greatest Africans of all times and one of the greatest human beings of all time. And if we as African people, I know you ain't going to get the 100%, if at least 65% African people of all ages just do what the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, brother, our liberation will take off at least 15, 20 years, beloved, in this new dispensation. So my beloved brother, Ken, let me just say, man, happy Earth Stamp to the King of Pan-Africanism. Now, brother, let me get at the topic you're on today, beloved. Beloved, you see, brother, let me say, we can't destroy nature, you know. Can't. Nature will destroy us. Could do some little damage, but nature will rebound at all times. So we can't destroy nature. We only destroying ourselves, and nature will destroy us. Eventually, if we keep on going, it's anything that most people are doing, who have no regards, beloved, for the environment. What are we gonna leave for our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren? 100, 200, 500 years from now, beloved. And beloved, let me say something. This nonsensical way and backward way you put just bombard the whole coastline with hotels, man. But that foolishness got to stop. What done there? Done there. And what could be removed? Remove them. But because all of this pollution from these hotels, I know the residents too, people residents. You can't. But I sure you got laws on the books that you ain't supposed to build. I think it's what? Other 100 feet or 100 yards from the shoreline. People don't adhere to them. But we have Mickey Mouse. We have Mickey Mouse administration from budget time come up to now. Come on, man. You know. But it's just so sad. And we let people, beloved, who look like us, even there was people who look like us, beloved, African people, doing this nonsense and, you know, very disrespectful. How you come, it's against the law to block all beaches must get access. You see, but I blame people in the St. Kitts Navy store, you know. Because anybody block a beach, you not even ask them. You just get the bulldozer. This is no violence, but then just bulldoze it. Because it must be access to every beach in St. Kitts Nevis for the people. No one supposed to block no access to no beach, beloved. Not even build certain structure, permanent structure. And they know. And some of these, all of them administration just turn a blind eye, beloved. Turn a blind eye. And the people, because you back team unity and you under team unity, you ain't going to say nothing. When you under a boy from St. Paul and he was mismanaging things, because you back here, you ain't going to say nothing. Come on, man. It's beyond politics. This is our land. And we must preserve it for our children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, beloved. So no one supposed to come and put up this and put up that. And new legislation must be a thing, but update them and think new ones. You ain't supposed to build certain things in the mountain range and the water thing, beloved, but it's sure, man. Come on. If you want to build a hotel, no more hotels supposed to build and ensure you see the coastal lands, beloved. All that pollution, beloved. We must save this beach. If you ain't gonna do it, forget about tourism. You know, I hear people in some argument, no, we got to think it for tourists. We come first. Everybody else come after us. That's our land. That's all we have, beloved. And if we ain't got our land, we're going to have to our children and grandchildren. So we must preserve this land for ourselves, our children, our great-grandchildren, our great-great-great-grandchildren for 1,000 years from now and beyond. Beloved, thanks again for hearing me. Again, beloved brother, have a good Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey there. Pan-Africanism our purpose. Well, love my African brother.
All right. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Nayas.
Good morning.
How are you, man?
I am good.
Mr. Nayas, this is Leonid here. Yesterday I told you that the next time I come on your station, I'm going to break down the Immaculate Conception and where that story originates from. However, today I'm going to stick to your topic. I want to, again, mention the word Sankofa in respect to the late Marcus Messiah Garvey. Now, we all know the story behind Marcus Garvey. Sankofa means let us go back. Go back and fetch the past. Revisit the past. Now, I mentioned Marcus Messiah Garvey. I would also like to mention a man by the name of Mansa Musa. Mr. Nayas, we have to visit the past to amplify the future. Amplify the present to better build a future for us. Now, the system that was imposed upon us is playing out in our reality today. Whether you want to recognize it or you recognize it and you want to stay put. Well, this is not the time to stay put. We are in the era of truth, and the book said the truth shall set you free. That freedom can only come from within. Within, knowing the knowledge of self. And that knowledge is infinite. It just feeds you with your past, your present, and your future. We have to revisit the past to to build a better future for us. Now, even when we bring it down to St. Kitts and Nevis here, we have seen what our leaders have done with our land. I want to just draw the listeners' attention to something that happened recently, where a Chinese man was appointed the title of chief in Ghana. This title is a very serious title. Now, with the finance that China have, when our leaders appoint land and title to these people who, and I am not discriminating against any race, but when our leaders give these foreigners title and land, it sets a dangerous precedent. It's in my opinion, it's disrespectful, because when we consider that we're doing it to provide employment, instead of selling, we should lease. When you sell land, there's no reconnection to that sale to say, well, let's reclaim it. So when our leaders do these things, they must always keep in mind that when you do that, you're making your people become powerless, because the earth belongs to us. Everything comes from the earth, and that's something we need to look into very deep. Thank you for hearing me, Mr. Nyers.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Pleasant good morning to you, Tony.
Good morning.
And please convey my greetings to your other half.
Good.
Hope she's doing fine today.
All right.
Likewise, you. Tony, a note of exclamation. I've heard on the news recently as yesterday that ZIZ Corporation is admitting candidates for general managership of the corporation. And I say that to say this. I want to vote for you and that on my behalf. And other people I think would support that too. And hope you're a candidate for it. Honestly, I hope that. With all my heart. You're qualified and you're capable and you're able. Unequivocally saying that, I know you're capable. Let me move on to your topic, Tony. Tony, you see that peninsula over there? Triggered me. I know it very, very, very well. When I was younger, very, very well. I go pick grapes from Canary to where the hotel and them is. I picked grapes there before anything was here. And other people in Boston could testify to that too. Because a lot of people used to sell cigarettes at that point in time. Not cigarettes I sell now because there's no more beaches. And even there's a little beach, the cigarette trees are rooted up. Tony, go further afield to the southeast peninsula. And Tony, if we look back in perspective for a minute or two, look back in the 20 years preceding to 2015, and you see what took place over in that area, where Mr. Bradshaw, may so rest in peace and continue to do so, decided the beach belonged to us. Gabby, sing a song in Barbados, this beach is mine. Where is our beach now? I could nearly call every cook and cranny, from Langilla to Potato Beggar right up to Nagshead. You understand? Go round to where I used to work for a lady named Miss Smith. Huh? Where the hotel sits now. When he used to go in moonlight and pick works. All that is no more. You can hardly go on that beach for that matter. And Tony, you're so right with your intro. You know, sometimes nature take it from us, and sometimes we allow people, unscrupulous people in government, allow foreigners to come and do as they like. Tony, if you come over on Canary, on the side of the Atlantic, there's no beach no more. Who do it? Everybody talking about the farm administration. The farm administration, like one Calypsonian said, gave away everything. Why he ain't give away, he sell away. And that's why we have that problem today. Tony, there's no fishing. Some man said come down to Potato Bay or even Newtown Bay no more, you know, like before. You see people choking it and whatnot. But anyhow, Tony, so much so for that. God bless you. Thank you for listening to me, my brother. God bless.
Okay. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hello, Mr. Nice. Am I on?
Yes, you're on. You're live. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm calling you from New York. This is Alfonso, better known as Sonny Boy. What's the topic today on the show?
We're talking about our beaches, the loss of our beaches through erosion and through man's efforts.
Well, I cannot speak to that subject because I haven't lived home in 50 years. So I'll pass for today, and thanks for giving me time on the show.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. We're going back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nance.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sometimes I think we go overboard with these emotional arguments about a lot of things pertaining to our country, right? To aspects of life in our country. You know, we hold on to traditions and practices for dear life without questioning whether or not we should do that, okay? Whether or not there can't be a better way. We should always be striving for improvement, right? And we should never be satisfied with the status quo simply because we are comfortable with it, or that's how it used to be done in the past, right? This is how development and progress happens, through change, not by remaining static, okay? And sometimes I think we want to eat our cake and still have it, okay? A lot of the decisions and so on that were made are also responsible for the fact that we've developed and to develop to the point where we have an enviable standard of living, okay? Sure, question what we do now, but to just simply dismiss what happened in the past when you benefit from it is, I think, disingenuous. I say that in relation to access to our beaches, for instance. Of course, we should have access to our beaches, but should it always remain free? Isn't there a cost to maintain them in a pristine condition? And why shouldn't we contribute some nominal fee towards that? We don't object to paying to go to Brimstone Hill, for instance, and other national assets, okay, like museums, etc. So why should we object to pay to go to the beach? And tell me something. The natural beach is one thing, but suppose some property spend money to develop, let's say, a nice beach on a rocky shoreline. Doesn't that give them a right to charge for its usage? I too am reluctant to agree to any private beach, okay? But we must note that places like, for instance, the BVI and Grenada, they have private islands that they rent out, okay? It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You still maintain sovereignty, but you use the properties for economic clout, right? And so, you know, we have to get rid of this mentality of everything free and maintenance don't have a cost, okay? Because we prefer it whether through taxes or such like anyway, right? That's why I call it an emotional argument, because we don't pay directly. We think we don't pay. And it's about time we get hold of this sargassum problem. It's been going on for years now, but nobody seems to be doing anything about it. Recently I heard someone say that they're going to conduct research on it for animal feed and fertilizer or something like that. That sounds like way down the road. Okay? We have the problem now. Marriott has equipment that removes it. Why can't the government source similar equipment or get some donation from Japan or Taiwan for equipment to deal with the problem right now? Okay? I mean, we're too reactive. All right? I mean, it's time we get more proactive and look at things differently. And don't get set in our ways about what happened in the past and prevent us from moving ahead in a better way. I think that's the main point, right? We're too stuck in our traditions and what we've done in the past, our past practices, that we can't see better ways of going forward. Okay then.
Okay, thank you. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hi, Mr. Niles.
Yes.
I'm not trying to divert from your topic, but I think one of your caller was referring to an advertisement concerning ZIZ.
Yeah.
I think he was saying that they want a new general manager.
I don't know of it, so
I think he made a mistake. I think they're advertising for a sales and marketing manager.
that makes
It
sense.
is the same commercial he's referring to that Jasidina brings on.
I haven't heard it, but that makes sense.
Yes, I don't think it's a general manager. What it says about the general manager, it says that the application should be addressed to the general manager.
Okay.
But they're advertising for a sales and marketing manager.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
As a matter of fact, I think I just confirmed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Tony.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
I am so agree with Noel and Nabu when it comes to our beach and whatnot. You see the man Mr. Bradshaw over there? Everybody have their ways, good and bad. Because the Bible says, there is not a just man upon earth that doeth good and sinneth not. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Mr. Bradshaw, decide if you could walk from one point, from point A, go right around the island and the beach without being obstructed by anybody's property, you're supposed to be able to do that. And he's so correct. Nobody's supposed to build no house by the breakwater on the beach. None. Start with the one over Fugebe, that's the first one. And then you go up Timothy Hill and you go over, and then hell broke loose over there. Who ain't got wire pull cross road that people are accustomed to walk down to? They got cable wire, all kind of sign, no entry, private property. How they get so? And then this man here before Mr. Boyne come and chat any foolishness, but people must pay to go to beach? What stupidity come talking? Pay to go to what is ours? Why no, come better than that. The house over Fugebe went down before 2015. And where was he to come talk about that? We supposed to go up on any beach. We used to go over there, go train when we were going to Commonwealth Games in Canada 1978. All Clark used to take us down past the house, go on the train pan a big heap of sand. When we come back, nothing tall could happen, so we got to stop by the house and turn back. And what the individual for the house does, I catch him doing it one time over there. He up on the house with the big Christopher Columbus microscope, spraying up the beach, watching people up there. What do you think up there? Woman up there bathing and he's spraying, watching them. They ain't have no right deal. And when Nabu said, all of them kind of thing about build on the breakwater, there should be bulldozers without violence. I agree with Nabu. Nobody's supposed to pay to go up on the beach. So don't come in a foolishness, but we got to pay, and we are accustomed to things, walk down on the beach and go, and we must pay. But I done with that, back off. Thank you, Tony.
All right. Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and
Good
Candid.
morning, brother.
Good morning.
It seems as though they want to have St. Peter how Jim Jones had part of Guyana when people couldn't even go over there, and then you hear what had happened. so many people get died. It seems the stories they want to have Frigate Bay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Back to the phones. Good morning.
Mr. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning.
Sometimes I like to sit down in my house and listen to the program and don't call in. The caller before, 3 callers ago, I think, that is it, 3, me, the young lady there, and my boy from in the country there. There's a lady who goes around Bastia and would videotape a lot of things that is happening. Recently, while I was in my house, I was able to view a tape she made of some young children. About 7 of them was even out there by Webster. I think Webster? I'm not too sure if that's that far down, but anyway, by the market, and they were bathing there. Is he trying to tell me that those 7 children that was there must pay to bathe in the seawater? I've been bathing in the seawater since I was a young boy, 7 years old. I think that's about the time I started to bathe. When there's 5 weeks holiday, the whole Orishtown Bay, that's even out there by the market, got on there by Webster, where Pastor Lover used to have a business place because I was living in the area there. We used to bathe in the seawater. The question is, how will the police police the whole length of the beach? Because people don't bathe at all up where they have the thing that the Japanese build there, or the Japanese or Chinese build there. Nobody don't bathe up there. But every morning, just below where the fishery is, a bunch of middle-aged senior citizens bathe there. So is he trying to tell me and the country that these people should bathe, but the people who are supposed to pay to bathe is the tourists, not us? I mean, that's to see, it's best to keep people like them the outer government, you know, because they're talking nonsense. Now you hear you have to pay to go up Grimson Hill. Well, okay, much locals don't go up there, but I think that includes locals. If I don't know if they pay at a reduced price.
Locals pay
different.
Locals pay a different price.
Okay, to maintain the place. But tell me, why should I pay to go in the seawater? Tourists supposed to do that, not me. I born here. I believe. I mean, when people sit down, once a guy could go to the peninsula and drive wherever I want because I got 4-wheel drive. No gate, lock off. Well, I must admit that over there was never owned by government. So I would assume that the people who buy the land there are all right to do what I want to do with it. But the beach, I mean, I could have driven down on that beach there, Sandbank Beach. Now they got some pole there, or stone. You can't go no further than there. You have to walk in there. All of that is to protect the white man. The white man who came here many years ago, rip up the country, gone back with all the spoil, and now we know can't go at the beach. And people never mess up the beach over there. So my grandmother used to say, no disrespect to you, common sense beat education. And today, I'm wondering if you got common sense. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I am well.
I'm listening to your show right now, and I so agree with the caller a while ago. One of your callers talk about development. But development is good, yes, but at what cost? Because I don't think people don't weigh the pros and the cons when you talk about development. Yeah, somebody's pocket gonna look nice, but then the average man suffers. Because let's use Canary Beach, for example. I mean, we had a beautiful beach over Canary. Growing up, we used to go down to Strand and picnic and do all kind of things down there. Now you can't even find the beach. You can't find Strand. It's covered by the ocean coming and it ruined the thing because of this shrimp factory, shrimp pond that they had put down there that ruined the beach. So you see, development at what cost? The poor people is who suffers. The majority of the time when these development comes, you have a good day.
All right. You too. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning. You're talking about the country. It's so a shame to see our country going because we got children and it's a pity that it look like our children ain't gonna come and own nothing. When they're selling out these vast acres of land to one person, when they bring the nation and beat up on our children. Our grave, we're going to turn in our grave because of this. They're supposed to hold, but we have enough land, For who done gone, they never get much. We now come before, we come after. We're supposed to now get, and our children get, and great-grand get, and it's a shame. I was hearing something the other day about some trying to do something, they were over Brighton radio. A broadside, they don't get over St. Paul way. They don't even get something coming back up in West Farm. How much more sign we going to see for them? And them now children are going to come and enjoy our country. And we parents who fought tooth and nail. And in the hot sun and in the hot rain, ain't going to get nothing. We put leaders there to lead and not to follow. Tell them not the land for the nation. Land we cannot sell off these lands, so we're willing to sell you. We're going to sell you a little amount. When these big factories are going to, how going to happen to us? I got 6 grand missionaries up to now, none of them got a piece of land, And they're getting children too, so what are they going to tell the children? When the children grow up now. No land there for them. It's a pity to see people that just be going around right now and say they want place to rent, want place to the next thing. We begin with is government house. We were supposed to put apartment, something good, apartment, right? Not these little, not just to storage and it done. We have a lot of people out there asking you for house every day. It's people who born here. I heard brother Nabu talk about up there, under the mountain there. That's supposed to hold the soil from coming down to the land to us. They're going to go build, when they dig it out now, today it's satisfactory. And the rain comes out to wash it. Poor are we down here? Lord help us. Father Jesus help us. We put you to mine. I don't say you put the rock to mine the trees.
Okay. All right, let me see if I could get another caller in here. Good morning, welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yes, good morning again. Mr. Nice, I am talking a nominal fee, not a big fee. It's just for the upkeep of things like bathroom facilities, washroom facilities, proper vendor stalls. We should be going beyond just putting old shacks on the beach for people to sell from. Have proper facilities. That's what the money would be for, not to go bathe in the sea, right? And we can still reserve some of the beaches for free public access, whether permanently or temporarily, let's say just on holidays, okay? You travel to Europe, for instance. You can't find a bathroom unless you pay for it. There's no public washroom because they have to upkeep the place. But what's wrong if we do the same thing here? I don't understand. That's why I say it's an emotional argument only, right? That we have to move away from and do what is an improvement. Don't just stick with something because those days only, we had this, white people were coming in and we didn't want them to take over our beaches, and so we put laws and so on in place. We have gone beyond that, okay? And we should appear like we've gone beyond that and institute things which are beneficial. Somebody mentioned the fact that Connery Beach is now non-existent. If they had funds to be able to save Connery Beach, Connery Beach would have been there still.
All right.
Okay.
To be continued. I think we're going to make it our final call, and we will be back tomorrow. We can continue this discussion. I think people have more to say. So we'll pick it up tomorrow, on the next Frank and Candid. I'm Tony Nice. Enjoy the rest of the day.
But again,
ZIZ Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
To avoid getting the coronavirus, remember to wash your hands thoroughly and frequently before and after preparing food, after using the toilet or changing a diaper for a baby, sick person, or the elderly, after blowing your nose, and after leaving large gatherings or moving away from persons who appear ill.